happens when an organization is created to protect African countries, but that said organization is not allowed to interfere when these countries start falling apart from within? That is exactly what happened with the OAU. You see, I mentioned in my last video that the OAU was created as a result of differing vision of different African countries, from the Casablanca, the Monrovia, Brazzaville, right? And the Casablanca bloc wanted a continental government, a unified continental government, but the Monrovia members were averse to that. They wanted sovereignty because they literally just gained independence and they wanted the right to rule and govern themselves. And so the OAU was created, and when it was created, one of the most prominent principle is non-interference with internal affairs of member states. At the time, it made sense because, like I said, they just literally gained independence and these nations wanted the right to govern themselves. It made sense at the time, but then there was a problem. If the threat to peace is coming from outside a nation, the OAU can interfere. But when the threat to peace is coming from within a nation, they literally have no say in it, and that was a major problem because post-independence many countries started fighting wars. Coups and counter-coups became increasingly common. Governments were overthrown, presidents were removed, military governments emerged in different nations, and in some cases political instability contributed to prolonged conflict. Things that shouldn't have lasted for so long because of instability. But the OAU could do nothing because, like I said, they were standing on a single principle. They had a core principle: non-interference with member states. And they were required to respect that non-interference in internal affairs. Their ability to intervene was very limited. That even created fundamental contradiction, because how do you build African unity when you cannot intervene when these said African people are being harmed by their own government? The OAU had been partly created to protect African sovereignty, but sometimes protecting this sovereignty came at the expense of protecting the citizens. So at what point exactly does an internal conflict become an African responsibility? And I think that's one of the most important lessons we should learn from the OAU. Sometimes the principles created to protect the country can become the very principle that prevents you from protecting the people of that same country. If you ask me, I think the principle of non-interference is not so bad after all, but I think there should have been exceptions. Exceptions like when the lives of people are on the line, especially these very same people that the organization is supposed to protect. It's just what I think.